Well, good morning and welcome back to Cityline. It is truly the final fabulous segment of this show because I have somebody on the couch who we stand on his shoulders. Some of the most beautiful things that have happened in Tacoma with civil rights, with community programs, with furthering education have this man's name attached to it. I'm talking about Willie Stewart. Welcome, Willie Stewart.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be a part of the program with you.
It's great to have you here. And among the accolades, you are a past president of Tacoma Athletic Commission and chairperson of Athlete of the Year, which is what we're going to talk about here in a second. So, Willie, you get up at 4:45 in the morning. You probably have a list of things that get done before most people are even out of bed. You are involved in so many organizations in Tacoma. So why is the Tacoma Athletic Commission so near and dear to your heart?
Well, first of all, it stems from my experience as a high school principal working with young people.
Yes.
And became acquainted with Tacoma Athletic Commission with the emphasis on amateur sports, even though a lot of emphasis are with young people, but it's beyond that with adult programs, with the Hall of Fame thing, the to champions in sports. But the key thing has been that we really spend a lot of time with the high school kids, boys and girls, to give them recognition for their achievements. Yes. And that's the motivation for me to want to be a part of Tacoma Athletic Commission.
I love that, boy. And you know, you are such an integral part of developing the next generation. And you, with those principal eyes, see all the potential and goodness in our youth. The Tacoma Athletic Commission has a special event coming up, and it's called the Tom Names Salute to Sports. Tell us about it.
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to say we're grateful to the Names family, all of them. And the Salute to Sports, Tom Names Sports, is a year-end celebration that culminates for the high school sports for all 3 seasons. However, with heavy emphasis on the spring sports as an emphasis, but then at the end of it, which is really the highlight of it, will be the recognition for the students to get scholarships. Oh. So we have specific categories which we recognize persons based upon their achievements. We have a dedication to Sis and her husband, then to Tom and Meg, and then to Kurt, who was a brother. And this is equal representation in terms of male and female.
Yes.
You know, the male athlete of the year, the female athlete
Got to have equity in there.
The multiple sports for females, for inspiration for male and female. Now, the only place where there's not a gender when it comes to recognizing someone for the Clay Huntington Award, which is emphasis on journalism, and for the Stan Nakamura Award being on civic involvement.
That's right.
And that event is going to be exciting. It's going to take place June the 16th.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the Bicentennial building, which is part of Hotel Murano.
Yes.
At 1320 Market Street.
Yeah.
And it'll start around 5 o'clock, 5:30. We ask everybody to be there. 6 o'clock the program. And we're going to have an outstanding MC with Jay Strickett.
Oh, yes.
And we have it's going to be a great evening, great event. And we're going to recognize not only those award winners that I named, but others for their achievement.
Yes.
And that's going to be so meaningful.
I love that. So is the public invited to attend?
Not only is the public invited, we encourage that because we have enough space this year. And if anyone wants to get involved, they can go to the TAC website and see the name of Karen there. And there's an email address for her. And there's also a phone number which she can be reached. And the reason why that's important, because it's pre-registration, so we can have a sense of how many people are coming, so that can help the hotel determine how much food to prepare.
You're serving us food. You forgot to mention that. Yeah. This is is it like a dinner that we're
Yes, it's going to be a dinner.
Great.
Because we're over the COVID. We're not over COVID-19, but we're at a point where we can relax and break bread together.
That's right.
And that's why we're going to have it that way.
Food is the great uniter. It always is. So the Names family has been so generous to amateur athletes in Tacoma and Pierce County. For people who perhaps have just moved here and are thinking, how do I find out, who or what the Names family is? Who is the Names family? Give us a little history there.
Yes, facts of all, it was started by the grandparents of the current group that's running it, Erin and her sister. Okay, and after they passed on, then Tom and Meg became involved because the other brother was deceased. And now that they're gone, the grandkids are taking on, plus they have an executive director. And that can be found within the news. You can go to the internet and get information on them on the website. However, they were always involved with sports. They were great athletes, and upon their success in accumulating a lot of money, they've shared it with the community with just an open heart. You can go to PLU and you see a facility. You go to the East Side Boys and Girls Club and you can see them. You go to the community center in Faircrest, and you see the brand name of names there. So the tradition of what the original parents did are being carried on by the grandchildren.
Boy.
And that's so important.
Willie, no pressure on those grandkids. No. I'm going to tell. I mean, it's almost like you have the ancestors who have laid out the foundation and paved the way, but you can still hear them saying, "Don't mess this up." That's right. So let's talk about these scholarships, and I want to bring this up because these are amazing scholarships. This is not $100, $200. Willie, how much are these scholarships?
When it's all combined, it's $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the most outstanding female and most outstanding male, $10,000 each.
Oh, my goodness.
For the multiple sports persons, with two or more sports, it's two of them, and they get $5,000.
Oh, my gosh.
Each.
This is a beautiful gift of
right.
money.
And you see, with that too, you get the multiple athlete, you get the multiple inspiration. See, so that gives you, and then we give $2,500 each to the Stan Nakarada and the Clay Hunters, and totaling $50,000, and that means so much.
Yeah, it does, because boy, I'll tell you what. Education is, as we all know, is expensive, and especially when you are making that jump from high school into college, and you don't know what you don't know, and it's like, I have this much expense, but wait a minute, that didn't include room and board. These financial scholarships are beautiful gifts. So let's talk about, you obviously have some really great sponsors because you're feeding people. So Willie, who do you need to thank?
Well, first of all, the Names Foundation.
Yes, yes.
And then the Columbia Bank.
Yep.
They're very involved with us. And the rest are just individual owners rather than any corporate.
Right. But those individual owners, as you and I have both said, that's Go Local Tacoma. Those are people who really sometimes can't afford to give to a scholarship, but they make it work somehow, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. So if somebody wants to become a member of the Tacoma Athletic Commission in these last few minutes, how do they go about doing that?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Just like it was on my script.
Go right to the Tacoma Athletic Commission website, and all that information is available. And also, any of the names that's on that, they'll assist you. That's an easy process.
Oh, good.
And it's very minimal fee, $100 a year. You can't get the best bargain in the world. And you get a chance to support.
There we go.
Everything, both levels. It's not just youth, but it's the whole gamut. The young people and the older citizens also.
I love that. Does it require a monthly meeting, or what kind of?
Years ago, we used to meet every week. And in the last 3 years, we made the decision. That's kind of a challenge, the way the work world has changed. So now we meet once a month. And it's usually always the second Thursday. In fact, today is the 7th. We're going to meet tomorrow. Today.
Today.
At noon.
June 9th. You got, and I'm sure you're going to be having lunch.
That's right.
So roughly, how many members do you have now?
We have over 100 on the roster, but only about 25 to 30 attend because that's part of the COVID. And but prior to that, we always had 50 to 60 persons come. And I think with this hybrid that's going to develop, we might get back to that number again.
Absolutely.
So, but it's the people have been just wonderful, and they're all volunteers. That's the great part of it.
Oh my gosh!
We only have one staff person, All the rest is done by volunteers, and we're very proud of them. Jim Merritt is our president, and we have others who are on the board that do great work. Sandy Snyder, Jay Strickert, Adams, they are just out there.
Boy,
Give 'em
Sandy
the time.
Snyder, I went to junior high with her. She never sleeps. Let me tell you, she is everywhere when it comes to raising money for sports and also Relay for Life. Thank you, Willie, so much for being here today. Every time I get to see you, I beam afterwards because of your goodness. So thank you so much.
But I want to close by saying I'm grateful
Yes.
for being able to have this on TV.
Well,
It means so much to this community, and I'm glad to be a representative for TAC.
we are glad to have you as well, my dear. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about, so go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and pay it forward. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.